This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. Okay, I had a very insightful comment on Patreon regarding my last video that I did lick lesson wise on last Monday. There's a playlist on the channel called Lessons and Licks, by the way, in case you find that you prefer the kind of guitar playing-y, like teachy part of the channel. I try to do things that are, you know, interesting to me and hopefully useful to some other people who are interested in the sort of stuff that I'm interested in. Anyway, the question was around, like, how would you finger steady the pentatonic scale? And I think this is an aspect that I've not talked about massively because there's an element of you finding your own way to do it. But I think, importantly, you might want to practice things in a consistent way if you're going to be hoping one day to build up speed. So that's basically what this video is about. We're going to be in B minor. The tab for this, if you're going to want it, is going to be up on Patreon, as well as the backing track from next week. I've actually done the tab for the jazz tune. I need to upload that. Anyway, yeah, so the Patreon, I'm actually going to start putting up a few free backing tracks occasionally on there as well. So there will be stuff on there even for people who, you know, can't afford to pay anything. But hopefully that entices some other people to join. Hopefully it's like represents somewhat good value. Considering how much guitar lessons might cost. Anyway, so we're talking about the pentatonic scale. I talk about it all the time. There are 5 positions of the pentatonic scale that you should probably know if you're trying to move on in this sort of thing. Right, so we're going to start here. Now, we know our pentatonic scale contains these notes: 7, 10, 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 10, 7, 10. For me personally, I tend to play it like that. So my pointer finger is going to be dealing with the 7th fret. My ring finger is going to be dealing with the 9th fret. And my pinky is going to be dealing with the 10th fret. So you get... And I think the reason that I gravitate towards that, at least some part of the time, is that I'm also considering sometimes hitting the 9th fret with my ring finger as well. So that's one way. Another way would be that, which feels quite alien to me, I've got to be honest. Certainly the end, I would always, I think, be aiming for the going for that. Anyway, so you could go, but for me it feels more comfortable. Pinky, pinky, ring, 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 pinky. Okay, right, then let's go up one shape. So this is the major pentatonic. You could call it like D major pentatonic. It's also kind of B minor, it's the same notes, just starting from the D instead of the B. And I think I've got a few ways that I might go for this. So I think on the 12th fret, but I think I might switch halfway through. Anyway, so you get this. So 10, 12, 9, 12, 9, 12, 9, 11. And I think, because I'm switching back up, I might switch from 9-11 to 10-12 with the pointer and then ring. And you could decide yourself whether you could equally be using your ring here as well, and decide yourself whether you're going to go with your middle finger or ring. So you could do it all with your pinky and ring. One of the reasons that you might want to experiment with different fingerings is that you can reach outside of the box. So you might want to experiment with each of these shapes, figuring out what would be available if you go outside the box. But for me, I think my bread and butter here is probably pinky, ring, ring, or ring, middle. Okay, then we got our next shape starting on the E, 3rd shape. And I think I'm going to be mostly focusing on pointer and ring. Or pinky at the end. So the gap here, 2 frets, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 11, 14, sorry, 12, 15, 12, 14. Or you might even want to keep that ring here and only use the pinky for the 15th fret. That maybe gives you even more stability in the left hand. And then same again if you want to think about extending out of the shape. You'd you'd maybe employ your middle finger there. That's, I think, how I would do it. So ring, 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 pinky. Okay, then we got another one on the F sharp. Let's do it down here to start. So 2, 5, 2, 5, because we've got a 4 fret gap there. I'm going to go with pinky, ring, pinky, ring, ring, middle, pinky, pointer, pinky. And you've got quite a big stretch there, so if you were going to extend above, you'd probably want to land on your... Okay, we're always on the 2nd fret except for here where we're going to be using our middle finger. I think you could do it another way, but to me feels most controlled. Okay, so pinky, pinky, ring, ring, middle, pinky. And then our last shape here, we're going to start on the 5th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 4th fret, 7th fret, 4th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret. So you could either use your pinky here, because we're always on the 7th fret, our pointer finger could be doing some work, or depending on how you feel about that sort of thing, you could use your middle finger to start. And that way you don't have any kind of shifting going on in the hand. Or so I think that's how I would finger each of the shapes. And as I say, this is maybe not the only way to do it, and maybe not even the best way to do it. It's just the way that I do it. And generally what I'm thinking is trying to get a position with my left hand which is comfortable, which is why a thing where you're not shifting all the time and changing fingers over into different frets all the time can sometimes feel a little bit more consistent, a bit more comfortable. And enable you maybe to get a bit more speed. I hope that's somewhat useful. And yeah, think then about, you know, how you would reach out of those box shapes. Would you modify things for that? Maybe you just add one note at the top or at the bottom. And then really, really great stuff to practice is kind of just joining them all up. and get kind of flexible with the idea of maybe being able to do slightly different fingerings. And yeah, maybe your pinky doesn't want to be kind of dominant in some of them. Didn't quite get that. Give that a go. I hope that helps somewhat, fingering the pentatonic scale. Cheers. Oh yeah, tabs, backing track, Patreon. I'll put all the fingering indications on there. Those are some of the options that I like to try. Cheers. Oh, a little thing. One thing, if you start to involve sequences, Eric Johnson does that sort of thing. So that you're kind of going. So you're substituting this finger here for the middle finger when you come back up. It makes it quite difficult and quite challenging, but it's the thing that he does. That might be worth a shout as well.